I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and this time I'm talking about a film from the year 2000. And wanted to give this film another shot because, of course, I had seen another film that has similar plot, which I'm very tired of talking about. I really am, so I won't bring it up too much, I swear. And and I know that most films are very similar to other films. Throw a movie, throw a quarter, you'll hit a movie that is similar to others. I mean, take any movie of today. You can name 10, 12 other movies that are similar to it. The Hunger Games, you can think of The Running Man, Battle Royale, The Avengers, you can think of all sorts of superhero movies. Hell, all the movies that came out before it, Captain America, Iron Man 2, all that stuff. You know, a sequel, prequel, remake. I mean, I understand that. It's just if you hate the film, it's more fun to make fun of it that way. But the film in question that I watched again was Mission to Mars, which was a time where they were making a lot of Mars films. You had John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars, you had Red Planet with Val Kilmer, and this film, and all three of these films were flops. That's why you don't see a lot of films with Mars or dealing with Mars. Then they did John Carter, which the story was John Carter on Mars, and that film flopped. So more than likely, Mars Needs Moms. That's another film that flopped. So anytime they make a film about Mars, it flops. It's weird, you know. Like the only one that worked was Total Recall with Arnold. You have to wonder, maybe that's why they took the Mars out of the new Total Recall, because that fuck Mars. But like the original Total Recall is the only one that dealt with Mars and wasn't a flop. But I like Ghost of Mars, and I actually like Red Planet. But this film was directed by Brian De Palma. This is a guy who's done a lot of great films, from Carrie to Blowout. That's a good one. I have to get that sometime on DVD. Body Double. Thanks to Ben at this one for sending me that. Body Double was a really solid thriller. Scarface. I love Scarface. Casualties of War. Wonderful war film. Vietnam War film with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn. I actually don't mind Snake Eyes. He did that film Snake Eyes. Actually, before this, he had done Mission Impossible, the first one, which I liked, and Snake Eyes. And then this was the film he did after Snake Eyes. Now, Mission to Mars has a great cast, I will admit that. You have Gary Sinise, who I'm a big fan of Gary Sinise. Stephen King's The Stand, Apollo 13, Forrest Gump, uh, even, you know, stuff like Snake Eyes or Reindeer Games. The guy, I've never seen this guy give a bad performance, Gary Sinise. You know, anything I've seen him in, he's been very solid. He's just one of those actors I really do like. I really do enjoy watching on the screen. Big fan of Gary Sinise. You have Tim Robbins, another solid actor, of course, starring one of my favorite films, Jacob's Ladder, right back there. Uh, you got Jerry O'Connell, who was starred from way back when and Stand By Me, TV show Sliders, Scream 2. He was in the Piranha 3D. He was in that. Been in a lot of films. Uh, Kangaroo Jack. Yeah, Don Cheadle, another very capable actor. I'm not sure if you can see he's right there on, where over there. From I was not a big fan of Trader, but maybe I have to see it again. But various films from early role in Hamburger Hill. Loved that movie. Thought he was great in it. Even in Volcano, very underrated film with Tommy Lee Jones and Don Cheadle. I really like Volcano. I thought he was good in Iron Man 2. I liked him in Iron Man 2. I was sad to not see him in the Avengers. Then it would have been cool to see War Machine, be in there. Which is weird. Why wouldn't you have War Machine? I think that'd be cool. But what do I know? Uh, you have Connie Nielsen, who I remember from a film called Basic with John Travolta. Really liked that film. Altogether, a really solid cast. And basically, the plot of the film is you have a group of astronauts. They go on a mission to Mars, obviously. And Don Cheadle and this other group are there, and they found something there, that maybe there's a source of water, maybe there's a sense that they can have colonization on Mars. So they investigate this mountain, and that's where one thing leads to another in this big old sandstorm, like a certain movie. But to be fair, I mean, you could say that, well, they did the same thing in The Mummy. So I'm being fair. Granted, it makes me think of the other movie with Sir Ridley Scott. But to be fair, I mean, kind of reminds you of the scene in The Mummy as well, too. So that scene happens, and Don Cheadle is really good friends with Gary Sinise and Tim Robbins, and they set out to put a mission to Mars. So it's those two, Tim Robbins' wife, played by Connie Nielsen, and Jerry O'Connell. Those four get into a space shuttle, and they go on a mission to find out what happened, to see if their friend Don Cheadle was still alive, and to find out what's really going on the planet Mars. Now, Mission Mars, like I said, I remember seeing this a long time ago. I saw this in Red Planet around the same time. I remember preferring Red Planet over this. I gotta say, though, thanks to Mike OCB Communication, he sent me Red Planet on DVD a while ago. Now, I do like both films, but I gotta admit, after watching them again, I've kind of switched where I prefer this film now over Red Planet. I really like this film. I was really surprised. I'm not saying it's perfect, but yes, I like it more than Prometheus. There you go. Let the hatred begin. Oh my God, hallelujah. Am I saying it's original? No. But you gotta admit, a group of people go to a planet and find out the existence of how we came to be. It has to do with aliens. Sounds a little similar to Prometheus, don't it? But if I was fair, you could say, well, they did it before in 2001, A Space Odyssey, Rendezvous with Rama, the novel. So I'm not saying it's original. It's just how it's presented. If you're entertained and if you're not bummed out by certain aspects, then that's all I ask for. And this film delivered. Again, I wouldn't say it's perfect, for instance. A few problems, I would say, about two or three. One, the scene in the sandstorm, when that happens, uh, special effects in that scene is not the best. Granted, this was back in 2000. But in that one sequence, the effects of the sandstorm, it looks kind of like a wormhole, but it's, not the best effects. And I will admit, the characters in that scene, including Don Cheadle, they kind of act stupid. Because they go in because they want to see if there's water there and such, and they set this thing up, and they hear a sound, and they see this sand forming, and they just sort of stand there and watch. And, you'll be thinking, what the fuck you doing? Just get the fuck out of there. Get on the Land Rover. Get out of there. What are you standing around for? Da, da, da. Well, most of them pay the price for their stupidity. So I will say that scene, I think, could have been done better. I mean, I think that's probably, if I could think of one bad scene in the movie, that would be the bad scene. Also, I think a problem with people will probably be the pace. Do not go in expecting an action movie at all. I mean, at all. If you go into Mission Mars expecting an action film or a thriller, you're going to be severely disappointed. But this is more of a adventure drama. I don't know how else to describe it. Sci-fi. Just not an action movie. Let me put it that way. Not an action movie. Maybe it's similar to like how do you put like Contact with Jodie Foster, about, make you think about stuff, but, it's not a thriller. It's not like, oh my God, I'm on the edge of my seat. Don't expect that. But what did I like about this film? Why do I like this film more than a certain movie called Prometheus? It's just my opinion. Sue me. Or don't sue me. First and foremost, I must say I really enjoyed the cast. That helps a lot. Granted, maybe because I've heard of these actors before, I know of these actors before, but I like their characters. Granted, Don Cheadle did a very stupid thing in his character, but I like the build-up at the beginning when they introduce the characters, and when he comes back, I like Don Cheadle as an actor. And, it does create, you kind of feel sorry that, by halfway of the film when they get to Mars that, he's been stuck there for like a year and he's going a little bit stir crazy and such. But Don Cheadle pulls it off acting-wise. But I really like Gary Sinise's character. I liked him as an actor. And basically his character, him and his wife were really gung-ho about a mission to Mars. That maybe there's something more out there. But what happened was his wife was sick and he had to leave. He had to check out and take care of her, and he basically watched her die before his eyes, and that kind of got depressed. But what's nice is that, at the beginning, it shows that he's a good guy. He's not an asshole like certain characters in certain other movies. He's not a dickhead. Because he goes to the party that they're throwing because Don Cheadle and them are going to go up. And he's like, he's talking to Don Cheadle's wife, and he says, well, I didn't want to ruin his day. This is his day. I'm like, okay, cool. That's a little thing, but he's not a dick. And he's like, no, you're fine. This is your chance. To get Mars, go for it. That helps. And yeah, little seeing him and Tim Robbins, Don Cheadle kind of having a back and forth, a little bit of fun. And they kind of make fun of Tim Robbins having this necklace that's straight out like Flash Gordon, like those old Flash Gordon rockets. So yeah, and you're reading too many sci-fi books. Oh, come on, man. You read the same sci-fi I did. You watched the same sci-fi I did. You watched too many sci-fi. That was fun, and plus I like the actors. That helps. Uh, what I like about the film is that the characters are not total douchebags, in my opinion. I like the actors. That helps a lot. I know I said that before, but I gotta say that again and again because it's a big part of the movie. And it is a good-looking film. I will say the budget was put to good use. The spaceships, I could tell a lot of it were model work. I don't mean can tell in a bad way. I just mean it looks really good. Brian De Palma pulls some very solid shots. That granted is reminiscent of 2001 Space Odyssey, but they don't use it that much nowadays, which is a shame. Like the scenes where you have a person walking as the thing's turning, and like in the same shot, like you have Gary Sinise sitting reading a book, and as he's walking, you see like Gary Sinise sitting, and he like goes because the whole thing's turning. And basically, you find out behind the scenes they had to like tie him down and stuff. So that, like Gerald Carlin was walking as Gary Sinise, he's sitting and it's doing this rotation for gravity. So yeah, really good looking shots. The look on Mars, really well done. I must say, after watching both films, I don't really see how Red Planet costs so much money. Maybe the robot that they have, but still, this film looked like it cost more. I mean, just the way Mars looks, the way the space shuttles, the way they did certain shots of the film. Brian De Palma did a capable job. I really enjoy the score by Ennio Morricone. If it all works out, then before this review, you heard a piece of music from the film. If not, it's because of copyright, so that's how that goes. But I thought Ennio Morricone, who does the score to this, which I didn't know, I thought he really did a wonderful job with the score, especially its main theme, which you hear at the end. Or at least the main theme, and I like the piece of music at the end, which I'll talk about. But I think that's why I liked the actors. It was a feel-good movie. I think this is somewhat based on the Disney ride. I think there was a Disney attraction called Mission to Mars. I think it's somewhat based on that. I believe so. It may be wrong. Uh, and actually, the writers behind this is Jim and John Thomas. Same guys who wrote Predator and Predator 2. Now, granted, they wrote Wild Wild West as well, but hey, they wrote Predator and Predator 2, and I like this film. And then Graham Yost, who wrote Broken Arrow and Speed and Hard Rain. So, in my opinion, you got some good writers on here. And not only is it a good-looking film, not only is the music very solid, it's a feel-good movie as well. It made me feel good, which is rare. With movies today, it really is. Uh, because I'll just spoil, by the end, they go on the mission, and then something goes wrong. One thing leads to another, and Tim Robbins has to pretty much sacrifice himself to save the other guys. It's a really touching scene where his wife is still going to try to help him, and like if she goes past this point, she won't get back because he's outside the shuttle, and he's like, I can't let you do that, so he unhooks, and you see his face freeze, and the way they did it was very well done, I thought. Kind of creepy, but very sad, and you really feel for it. And that works out well. Then they land and they find Don Cheadle, and they find they do that take on the face on Mars. And I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but one thing leads to another, and they find a way to, it's an invitation sort of, that maybe this thing is, I don't know if I should give that away or not. Anyway, I'm not going to give the specifics, because I think people should check. If you don't like the film, that's fine, but um, before I get to the ending, the production values, the special effects, other than the sandstorm scene, I thought they were very well done. I thought the money was well spent. The score by Ennio Morricone, the cast, when you got Darius Sinise, Tim Robbins, Don Cheadle, Jerry O'Connell, who's very funny. I thought he had a lot of fun moments in this flick. Uh, I liked his little bit with the M&Ms. There's some free gravity. And Gravity's going, he makes like a DNA strand out of M&Ms, and Darius Sinise starts taking some. Like before, he's like, what's that? He's like, that is the DNA of my perfect woman. And Darius Sinise just starts taking M&Ms. Like, no, what are you doing? Oh, my baby. Darius Sinise like, what is it now? A frog? You just have to see it. But the cast, the score, the production value is really well done. And I'm not saying it's original. I mean, again, you've seen this stuff probably, the stuff with the spaceship going on, you've seen in stuff like Apollo 13. The sandstorm, you've seen in stuff like The Mummy. The idea behind the film, you probably saw in 2001 Space Odyssey, among many other films. It's just, I thought it was well done. Maybe the pace doesn't agree with everybody, but I really liked it. And I think what really clinched it was the ending for me, which I'll get to, so if you don't want to be spoiled, be warned. But I really love the ending because Darius Sinise, Don Cheadle, Connie Nielsen, they get in, and Jerry O'Connell's back on the ship, just in case they get out of there. And of course you find out, kind of like in Prometheus, that we came from aliens. But I thought it was really well done because they have a scene, I swear they put Ryan Prometheus, I know I said the whole thing, but you know how when Michael Fassbender, he has that thing that shows all the planets? I'm not saying it's the first time it was done, but in this aspect it was so similar, but I thought it was more well done in this movie. They walk in and they just see all these planets of their solar system, and then they see Mars, and they realize Mars wasn't always the red planet. It was actually a lot like Earth, and then something happened, and you realize that who was living on there, they left into this place in the distance, but one stayed. And they sort of set up this thing. They seeded planet Earth, so life would grow, and so that we're sort of connected with the aliens. And the way they show an alien which I know that ending kind of reminds you a little bit of Contact, where they go through this whole journey and to have a one-on-one with an alien, and kind of reminds you of Contact, but I actually like Contact. I actually like that movie a lot. But I thought it was well done here. And granted, the alien is CGI. So granted, yeah, it is CGI. But it didn't bother me. I don't know why. Maybe because I liked the story that was going on. I liked the movie. I'm like, oh, okay, CGI. And I don't really mind the design of... I don't mind the design of the alien that they chose. It's kind of a female, and she's like... It's like looking at her planet Mars that's dying, and you see like a tear going down. I thought that was nice. It shows that they have emotion and stuff. I thought the whole thing was that it wouldn't open this. You find out that the face on Mars is actually a ship, and it wouldn't open for anybody. It'll only open if you're human and you had to prove yourself that you're human, because it wanted to find its own sort of descendants. And they sort of show how the Earth came to be, and you have a nice, granted, again, CGI, but I thought it was pretty decently done, especially for back in 2000. Pretty decently done to see the evolution. And I understand you could say, well, that's kind of the problem with Prometheus, that if they just seed the planet, it doesn't mean we're all connected. It doesn't like I'm not connected to a spider or an alligator. So I know there's some holes, but I give you that. I'll give you that. But I went along because I was entertained. Sometimes that's all it is. Entertain me. One quick thing on Prometheus, I'm sorry, it just did not entertain me. It was trying to be scary, I wasn't scared. It was trying to be intense, I was not intense. I know that's not a word. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the actors. I didn't care about anything. I'm sorry. I did in this movie. Sue me. The only reason I keep bringing it up is I know people are like, oh, you like this, but you don't like Prometheus, you fucking suck, you two-faced prick. Whatever. It's my opinion, my video. But what really clinched the ending for me was one thing leads to another, and sort of an invitation, and Sinise decides he's going to go with them. And Connie Nielsen is like, really? Like, Sinise is like, yeah, maybe this is what I was meant for. And the way it was done, I think this really spoke to the kid in me. When I was a boy, I used to think, and once in a while I still think this, I will admit, it's going to sound extremely, extremely fucking stupid. But there was that part of me, I think maybe still is today, once in a while, that almost wants to be in Sinise's shoes. To have the opportunity to do something that no one else ever in the history of anything, to go on this journey, this once-in-a-lifetime journey like that. And that, the way that was done here kind of spoke to the kid in me, made me feel like a kid again. And I really appreciate that, because it's a PG movie. It's a PG movie. And ultimately a feel-good movie. The aliens are not bad guys. They don't want to kill us. They don't want to invite us all the way over there just to kill us. They had like the ship had a mechanism, like if you're not human, then it sort of does something, but it's, they're not there to hurt us, to kill us. It doesn't do some, what do I call it, preachy, oh, humans are evil, change your ways, humans are bad, and because you kind of get tired of that when they do it a lot. I mean, I like District 9, but they did it in that. A lot of other films, alien films, humans are bad, humans are evil, humans, how dare you do this? I mean, way back to the day the Earth stood still, among others. I know that's the point of the movie. Even The Abyss, that's why I like the theatrical cut of The Abyss more than the director's cut. Because I like the fact that, okay, the aliens, they saw that Ed Harris and Mary Elizabeth, they loved each other. And that was enough. And that shouldn't be enough. I was like, wow, these guys, they're pretty cool dudes. But then the whole preachy, they open the waves and, retract what you're doing. You better fix it or otherwise. I'm like, don't fucking preach to me, okay? Because let me tell you something. Your movie is not going to change the world. I mean, I understand sending a message in movies. I understand that. I really do. But sometimes you just don't need it. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And, sometimes you just don't feel like you want to be preached. And this film didn't do that. It just made you feel good. And I love the way this last shot is done. It probably won't affect anybody, but I thought it was really, made me emotional. Not cry, but it was emotional because he goes into this thing, Gary Sinise, he says his goodbyes, and like it fills it with water, and he's getting scared, but then he breathes. So I guess it's kind of like the abyss, the breathing water. And like he breathes, and then he has like a little smile, like, wow, this is cool. And then he thinks about all the stuff that's going on through the movie and about his wife. And he's smiling, and he starts going on this journey to the ship. And then the last shot just really, really, really just clinched it for me. The movie just clinched it for me in the last shot. And it's going to sound really stupid, but Don Cheadle, Jerry O'Connell, and Connie Nielsen, they're going off. And you see the ship that Gary Sinise is in just fly by. And it pushes him. It's like, is that him? And then it cuts to the ship going off in the distance to like this, it's like another solar system or something way, way out in the distance. And you just hear Don Cheadle, because Gary Sinise's character is Jim, Don Cheadle say, oh God, what the hell did he say? Have a good journey. Fuck, I forgot what it was. Have a good journey, Jim. Or have a good trip, Jim. God, now I want to find... Fuck, I forgot what it was. I can't believe I just saw it a few hours ago. What the hell? I just ruined the whole fucking thing. But I really did like it. How the hell did I forget that, man? Come on. I hope it's in the quotes here. Ah, you asshole. You fucking asshole. You fucking asshole. Son of a bitch. Yeah, one says, dear God, look at that. And, Jerry O'Connell's like, is that him? And Don Cheadle says, have a great ride, Jim. Just hearing Don Cheadle say that, and you see off in the distance, and the way the music, I think, where Ennio Morricone does it, where she'll go off to have a great ride, Jim, and you have the end sort of pops up. It's hard to explain. I would love to show footage, but I'm sure studios would be assholes about it. But I don't know why. That simple, with the music and the way it was done, edited, I just really clinched it for me. I'm like, wow, that's very cool, very emotional. It makes me feel good. And once in a while, I like to have that in a movie to make me feel good. And that little bit, like you want to be that Jim, Gary Sinise. Like you felt sorry for the guy because his wife passed away, and now here's his chance to do something that him and his wife, they wanted to go to Mars. Now he's able to go a step further, and I thought part of you is like, man, you would love to do that. You would love to be that person who could go off and to the distance. I know it sounds pretty stupid and deep, but I really liked it. Um, so that pretty much clinched the movie. I'm like watching that credits, like, wow, that was really good. It made me smile. And if it makes me smile with the really beautiful score by Ennio Morricone, especially that scene, the end credits, like that last scene, the end credits, it really like... So for a movie to do that, I'd give it a thumbs up. I mean, if you don't like it, that's cool, but maybe you won't like the pace of the film. There's one or two scenes that are iffy, like the sandstorm scene. And I'm not saying it's original. I'm not. But it did do it before Prometheus. So I gotta throw that in there. But I'm not saying it's original, but I was entertained by it. It's a PG film. It's a really, it is anyone in the family could watch, but it's not like a Disney film either, even though it's released by Touchstone Pictures. It was entertaining. Great cast. I got into the story. I like the idea of the aliens not wanting to kill us for a change. That's pretty, it's always nice to see that once in a while in a movie. Even though I'm a big fan of aliens and stuff like that, once in a while it's nice to see that. Really good special effects. Beautiful score. Makes you feel good. At least it made me feel good. But that's Mission to Mars. So either way, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you later. Bye. And one thing I forgot to mention. One last thing. Don Cheadle, the black guy in this movie, he doesn't die! Holy shit! The black guy in a sci-fi movie, he doesn't fucking die! Holy shit! Wow, we gotta fucking celebrate. Once again, Don Cheadle, the black guy in a sci-fi movie, he doesn't fucking die. He actually lives by the end and after the end. Holy shit. Later.